How many times a year do you go on tour? Is it more so like do you have a plan? Like you want to do a West Coast thing, for this 3 months, and then in 3 months you do more like, center or East Coast? Like how do you plan out your tours? Because the thing is, the reason why I asked those questions earlier about, the challenges, I feel like a lot of people who are excited about their first tour think it's just like, you're going to go to a few venues with your friends and it's going to go crazy and you're going to be so many people and shit like that, but it's just not true.
No.
And so,
so much work.
Coming from experience, like how do you plan out your tours?
Yeah. In what regard?
So
in terms of region, in terms of financial stuff, in terms of
all of that.
People? Okay.
Literally all of it. We want to know the truth.
Yeah, like your process of
talk to us as if we're two like bandmates about to go on our first tour. Tell us like what we're supposed to do, things that
how do we get ready for this tour?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you plan for the future?
Oh gosh.
I'm sure there's a
lot.
On
the spot.
There's just like so much stuff. So I feel like kind of those are two different questions. If it's bandmates and they're going on first tour, I can answer that one way if I'm talking to people that way. If it's how do I plan tours, it's a completely different answer. So like thinking about booking and stuff. So usually what I'll try and do is I'll use numbers from previous tours that I've done to guess how much money will be made in each place, and then try and financially set that up based off of previous shows. So like there's stuff like that, and then sometimes you have like places that like don't show up, where you're like, I expected 40 more people to be here, like $10 a head, like for a show, like that's $400 that we don't have. That's gas, that's food, that's you're like, oh man, those kind of things. There's other ones that people will do that I still will do, not so much anymore, but like called anchors, where you have like an anchor that's like, all right, we're doing this one show here. We like, it's a secured 500. Like great, and then so you anchor that, and then you can do like a free show, or you can do like a donation based show at a different one. So stuff like that.
So just moving your budget around.
Yeah. So basically, it's just like figuring out. So financial stuff like that. In terms of like new places, if you're ever playing like a new place, usually you try and work like an already existing, like if it's like a house concert series or a venue that always has a good draw, or if you know some people, then like that kind of stuff. So like there's a lot of people who are doing more like pop-up shows, or like people who have like a house and they love their backyard, and so they do like a series of concerts there.
Or the So Far Sounds.
Yeah, So Far ones. Yeah, so we just did 2 So Far Sounds shows, and this here in LA. We had one booked, and then the next morning they were like, hey, we had somebody cancel, can you come in? Which is tight. So far it's good. You don't get paid that much, to be honest. I mean, depends on like what you're doing. If you're in the city already and you just go and it's just like you and a guitar, and you just like, I'm just gonna play some songs, it'll be tight, people are gonna love it. There's 70 people, 40 people, whatever, that's dope. But if you're like trying to like just tour based on So Far stuff, it's not
it's not gonna work out.
It's just a financial like it can't. Gas to get from city to city is too much, especially if you're in California, anywhere along the West Coast really. But so stuff like that. So either like concert series like that, or some people, like if you guys were just like, all right, we got space for 40 people in here, 30 people, small stage, just have a couple artists come through, play. We got enough parking in the neighborhood. Neighbors will be tight, like, or we could just do it completely acoustic, $5 at the door, and we just try and get everybody out. Or you want to do like a live podcast, and there's some people that jam, they play some stuff, and like you try and make some money from it, and then you keep that going, and then you start bringing in touring artists, and then people hear about it, and they're like, oh yeah, I should go and do that. I can play that in LA. Next night I can play at like Hotel Cafe, and then the next night a So Far show, and then I jump to the next city, stuff like that. So you do some of those. Some house shows, some things if you get in touch with a club or like a bar, something like that. Or like if there's like, I'm doing one up in Davis soon that it'll have somebody who like really likes my music, and he's like part of like a running club. And so he's like, yeah, man, we can like for sure have this many people there, and like tickets will be this much. There's another club on this college campus where they're like just super stoked about music in general. So you go and you play there. So some things like that, like if you just keep like a folder of people who want to host house shows, how many people like do you think you'd draw if you were to come? Are you okay selling tickets? Anything I should know about the space? Are you also able to host us? If you can get like hosted at a space, that's tight too, because then you can bring finances down, etc. So you're thinking about all that kind of stuff. Anything else? Okay, how do I tour? Okay, regional sometimes. Sometimes you do like a big circuit, like the 2-month one that I did that was full US. Sometimes you do like a short one. I did a 2-month one in Europe 2 years ago. I did a 1-week one in Europe this last year. My girlfriend and I just took a vacation, played 2 shows, and just like paid for the entire trip that way. It was dope. Just in Germany and Switzerland. We took like 2 days in France. Went to Paris for the first time. That was sick. Didn't play any shows there. I'm excited to in the future. Anyways, that is random. And then a couple years ago, yeah, I've just been thinking about it a lot. It's like, that was tight. It's just, good to hang out.
Of course.
Like 3 years ago, did like 2-week one in Europe, just based on people who I knew there. A couple concert series. Played a So Far one. It was actually really tight. So Far one to play. It was in Hamburg and like 300 people in like this circus tent thing.
That's huge.
It was super fun. Super, super cool.
What's the biggest show that you've played?
Biggest show I played, like 600, 700 people.
Damn. That's pretty good.
Yeah. There was that. There have been a couple like in the 400 or 500 range, and then just down from there. And